Hello, everyone. My name is Brandon Scott, and I am a high school English teacher at the Early Middle College at GTCC Greensboro. And today I have come to talk to you all and walk you through my Canvas course for my high school Honors English 3 class. And this is obviously for our module 4.4, where we have to record a video of some of the things that we've learned that we're now implementing into our Canvas course. So without further ado, let's hop on in to my Canvas course. All right, so this is my Canvas course. As you can see, it starts with a picture of me from my first year of teaching. It's still the best picture that I've taken from the yearbook, but I put it in this header so that students automatically associate this classroom with their teacher, me. And I know that a lot of students have struggled with going to certain classes thinking that they're doing the work for their English class and maybe taking a quiz for another class. I don't know how they get confused by that, especially because it clearly says English 3 honors. But you know, high school students, sometimes things don't always click. And so I feel like having my picture automatically alerts them, oh, this is Mr. Scott's class. So I have that, as well as the name of the class right under it and my contact information. So I have my name, my 2 emails that they can access me through, and my phone number that is actually linked to a Google Voice app, because I don't want to share my phone number with my students, but this Google Voice app kind of converts numbers, and that's a whole different thing. So we're going to move on. If you scroll down, you can see we have some buttons, and buttons are my favorite thing in Canvas classes right now. Like, they're amazing. So I have my Meet Your Teacher button, as well as my Getting Started button, which we'll go back to in a minute. But if you scroll down some more, we have my buttons for the months that the students are going to be in my class. So this is the spring semester of 2021. So they're going to be in there for January, February, March, April, and May. And so I have all of these buttons here as well. And again, I'll show you what those are in a second, as well as beside those months, a previous live lessons button, which sounds pretty self-explanatory, but again, I'm still going to show you. And then below that, this is my new pride and joy. I just created these, my module buttons. And so the students can scroll down and click on the buttons, and it takes them to the module related to that unit. That's something that I learned from this class, and I think it's such a great aspect to add to my Canvas course, and it's a great way for students to track all the work that they've done so far in the semester. So now that I've kind of gone through what my Canvas course looks like, I'm going to start clicking on some buttons, okay? So obviously first we have the Meet Your Teacher button, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And here, obviously, you see a picture of me that's super huge. It's the same picture as before. I also have a video on the right side that I'm not going to play for you all, but it's basically just me talking about some of my interests, just so the students have a chance to get to know me. And then I encourage them to message me at the end of the first lesson, some things that they are interested in. Below that, I have a picture that I love and I adore, and I think is inclusive to all of my students. And below that, obviously, I have my pronouns, as well as kind of my bio for my students to read. And also below that, I have my contact information one more time, just in case they missed it. So I'm going to go back to the home page now. And then I'm going to click on Getting Started. So here on the Getting Started page, we have first the syllabus, as well as the way that they sign their syllabus digitally for me, which is through a Google form. I'm not going to show you that either because we're running out of time already, but they basically click the first link for the syllabus itself and the second link for the signing of that syllabus. Below that, we have course description, student expectations, important dates for the students, important login information for any of the sites that we would be using as a class, as well as live lesson information. So exactly when I have classes, what classes I have when, and what they need to expect coming into my classroom as far as times for classes go. Okay, so that's what I have there. And if I go back to my home page again, I'm going to click on the first month button here, January, because that's the only one I have completed so far, because we're done with January. So if I click that, it's separated by different weeks, obviously. So we have the week of the 4th through the 8th, 11th through the 15th. I'm currently going to click the January 25th through 29th link because that's the most recent for my students. Okay, so first when we click on it, we automatically see the assignments for January 25th through 29th. So it just reminds them about which week they are on. And then right under that, we have my essential question for this unit, as well as the standards that we're going to be covering over the week. And it's divided by the day of the week that we're going to be accomplishing those standards. So I have that for them as well, so they can be aware of those. And as you scroll down, you could see we just have like a list of days and what they would be doing. This week was pretty stressful because we had the PSAT, so they had to have an asynchronous day on Tuesday, and then we had book distribution and stuff at my school, so we had a makeup work day on Wednesday. So it's been a lot, but my students have done amazing with what we've been dealing with this week. But here, basically, as you can see on Monday, I break my schedule down with my students bit by bit, and it's the same kind of headers every day. That way they get used to the routine of the class. So we've got our Write Into the Day, which is my bell ringer activity, and it's always a question that relates to our reading for that day. So they answer that as a class in our Microsoft Teams meeting. Then we go over the vocabulary for that specific text. We read a specific text. We complete the comprehension questions for this one. And I also include the PDF of the exact pages from the textbook, just in case they lose their textbook or haven't picked it up yet or whatever. I have the digital copies right there for them to use, that they have full access to. And I post the PDFs every day for what they need. And then under that, I have a hyperlink to the assignment for that day. Okay, so for this day, again, I'm just going to click on the assignment. And here it just gives them the detailed instructions on what to do. Complete comprehension check 1 through 4. It also has the PDF linked again. That way, if they click on the assignment, they would still have the PDF and not be able to say, I couldn't find it. It's in the assignment. So everything is right there. I also make sure to name my assignments with the date that it's assigned first. So the date that we covered the information. So this one we covered on January 25th. So I put 1/25/2021, a kill, a mark, comp, which again, I have to get creative with the names because we can only have titles for like 30 characters, I think. So sometimes I have to get creative with the names of the assignments, but it all works out in the end. So that's what I have. And then obviously I can check SpeedGrader. I leave comments on all of my students' work that they complete for me, and obviously give them the correct answers if they missed any, or give them kudos if they got it right. And that's basically how I work through my students' assignments. While I'm talking about assignments, I first want to say a lot of mine are set up kind of like this. Because we have the My Perspectives workbooks, we are able to access that information online. And so I get a lot of the PDFs and things and just kind of adapt that to Canvas, because our My Perspectives course doesn't work with Canvas. They don't link, unfortunately. And so I kind of have to just take it and download it from one website and like put it on this new one. So that's how I've been doing it for Canvas with my students. I also have been using some Nearpod. So if I go to my assignments really quickly, since we're already in assignments, and I scroll down to the poetry quiz. This was a Nearpod lesson that was for an asynchronous day where we also had something big going on with our school. I can't even remember what it was at this time. But basically, as you can see here, I have the Nearpod embedded into the assignment, which I find super helpful for my students. They fill it out, finish all this different stuff, and I go to SpeedGrader, and all of the assessment data for these students are right there in Canvas, and I find that so helpful, and I'm so glad that I have found that capability through this course and how to link specific external tools to the Canvas assignments. I'm so thankful for that. However, I'm going to move back to our homepage to show you at last the modules buttons that I'm so proud of, that again I created because of this course. So first I'm going to click on Unit 1 because this is actually the only one I have linked for my students. So they cannot access any of the other units until they finish Unit 1. Again, this prerequisite idea that I learned in this Canvas course, which I'm so thankful for. So if you click on Unit 1, the button, because it's the only one we can right now, I have listed a sneak peek at Unit 1, which just shows the overall, like the first page of the textbook that goes over all the text that we'll be reading in the specific unit, as well as some of the standards we're covering, some of the assignments that they should look forward to, like projects, papers, things like that. And then under that, I have a header for week 1. And then I have the agenda linked here that they can click on and see that agenda that I already showed you all. Then under that, they have each day. And under each day, they had the assignment that was due for that day. I thought about including those files as well that I include in the agenda. However, I didn't want to bombard the module too much, and I already post the files of the PDFs in the assignment itself. So when they click it, they'll see it. So I didn't feel like I needed to share both of them in this module. So really, I just have it separated by weeks, as you can see, and I was able to indent and then do the week of January 4th, and then indent again, do each day, and then under each day indent the assignment. Like I said, this is my pride and joy right now, and I'm so thankful for this first core Canvas course training, because I feel like without it I wouldn't have known about all the capabilities of modules, which is the thing that I wanted to learn most about. I thought I had a pretty good grasp on it, but I didn't. So I am so thankful that I was able to learn all of this information that I'm able to incorporate in my classroom, and as soon as I learned it, I did it. And so it was pretty easy to sit down and record this video because I've already been incorporating these things in my classroom. I am now going to go back really quickly to the home page, to the button for previous live lessons. So at our school, our principal asked that we record every single lesson that we do with our students. So I do that in Microsoft Teams, and I post it at the end of the day here in this module where you click the button, it takes you to the virtual meetings module, and then you see here all the virtual lessons for each week. So I'm just going to click on one random. This is January 12th, 2021. If I click it, I have both third and fourth block posted here. They're both English 3. And so whichever class they're in, they get to click it, watch the video. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the home page just to show you quickly the student view. So if I click these glasses and get to student view, you can see on the side that I just have a small amount of tabs. And because of that article that we read in this Canvas course, I was able to understand that students don't want to get bogged down. So keeping it simple is the best way to go. And so I just have home, the announcements that I make to them, the assignments, the discussions that they have in class, the files, folders, the grades, the modules, and the quizzes, which are just the bare necessities for what they need. I would love to incorporate so much more into my Canvas course, and unfortunately I haven't had the time to incorporate as much as I'd like, but I know now, taking the information that I've learned in this course, that I have ideas for future assignments, future projects that I'm going to be doing in my classroom, that I can incorporate discussions or quizzes that I haven't really used a lot yet, but because of the tools that I've been given through this course, I am able to understand the advantages of those. And so I'm looking forward to doing that and having my students be able to collaborate with one another more through those discussion boards. It's going to be great. And I also would love to learn more about outcomes for Canvas. Outcomes seems like something that's so complex for me. It's something that I'm aspiring to get to, but I just haven't had the time or honestly the understanding yet to get there. But I know that it's something that's going to be so beneficial to me. So I'm looking forward to getting to know more about Canvas so that I can then incorporate those Canvas outcomes as well. So that is it for my submission for module 4.4, where I'm going through the Canvas course and the things that I specifically learned to incorporate in lessons for my classroom. And so hopefully you enjoyed it. I really am enjoying this class so far and learning more and being able to give my students a more positive learning environment, a more stable learning environment, one that's easier for them to navigate, one that is encouraging their engagement through Canvas. A lot of my engagement had from the past come from Microsoft Teams, but now that I understand the vastness of Canvas, I'm definitely going to be using that to my advantage, and I know my students are going to appreciate that, because again, we can all keep it in this one central location, this Canvas course, right? And I think that's one thing that is been beneficial for all of my students, and I've noticed a huge change because I had a lot of them last semester for Honors English 2, and now seeing them in Honors English 3 and all of these changes already that I've been implementing over the past 4 weeks, it's been an incredible difference, and I'm excited to see just how much more I can learn and how much more I can give to them and see their growth as well. So again, I appreciate all the help and all of the learning that I'm doing in here. I'm excited to move on to the next core module, but that's it for my video.